Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, I was just watching Tom at Legacy Collectibles, watched a YouTube video, and he was talking about the FN 1922, made by FN. This one's got a really, really sticky magazine on it. I just got it out, and now it's going to be a bear to get it out again. But this is it's got a Waffen stamp on it with the number 140. And the proper Luftwaffe stamp on it, and traditional FN proof marks. So this is a Luftwaffe issued FN 140 means it's late war, probably about 1943, 1944. Also, it's got the wooden grips instead of the Bakelite ones that FN was known for, and that's what the Nazis did as a means of saving on materials. I was just watching him and talking about various collectible versions of this, and this is the least collectible you can get because you'll find a whole bunch of these in the U.S. because GIs brought them home. They were easy to stuff in a duffel bag, and that's just the way it was, you know. Wartime booty. Matter of fact, there's no import mark on this thing, which means this was a post-war bringback. But that's not what I was going to talk about. I was just working on and fixing up, well, trying to fix up one of my rifles, and I thought I'd show you what I've got. Take a look here. Oh, this is a collection of Civil War Confederate rifles. This is an 1861 Springfield. This is an 1853 British Enfield. And this is an Austrian Lorenz. And the Lorenz was a real bear. I didn't have a hammer on it. I didn't have the hammer screw, and I have this arrangement here because I can't find the correct screw. And I got to find something better because this is kind of wobbly. Also, the trigger mechanism is shot. This Lorenz was in really bad shape. I've done all I can to it, and I got it all back together again, but it still doesn't work right. Well, it's now officially a wall hanger. But I know that these were all Confederate for one reason or another. Well, this one wasn't. This Enfield is actually a modern Italian clone of an 1853. But it's absolutely perfect in every respect except for the Italian proof marks on it. So, I'll keep that for what it is. But this and this, these are originals. And this one I know is Confederate because it doesn't have a rear sight on it. It was quite common for the Confederate soldiers to pick up battlefield weapons and bring them back and use them. Well, the good old boys of the South, they didn't like these newfangled Yankee sights on them, so they'd drift out the sights and just shoot, aiming down the barrel itself. They liked the front sight, but they didn't like that rear sight. And the fact that this is missing one tells me, plus the provenance of the fellow I got it from. I bought this at an estate auction, and I learned from the friend of the family who was administering the auction that he had come from South Carolina and came to Oregon early in his life and brought back a family heirloom. And this was the heirloom. He also had several other interesting pistols and other rifles, but this one in particular I got. I put bids in on all of them, but this is the one I won. And it's a beautiful thing, I think. And I've shot it once. It does shoot. So, it's a typical 1861 Springfield Civil War vintage musket, but it's because of that rear sight, I claim it's probably a Confederate battlefield pickup that was then refurbed by the South to use. And this one, I just picked it up recently. A friend of my cousin's was into reenactment, and he used this one. It fits all of the specifications of an Enfield of that time. at that time, the British, well, they had a whole bunch of these left over, and buyers from the South were flocking all over Europe trying to find any guns they could get their hands on. And they bought up a whole bunch of these. The North bought them too, but mainly the South bought up these. And you'd find these a lot more commonly in the South. Though if you look at a Southern group of troops, the captain will write back to the quartermaster and say, yeah, I've got so many guys with shotguns and so many with British rifles and a couple of them with Yankee rifles and maybe a couple with Austrian rifles. I might have a few with Kentucky flintlocks or some kind of other, like maybe a Sharps or every kind of carbine you can imagine. And logistics, because of that mix and match, were just a nightmare for the South. Well, by the way, I've also got this. It's a correct bayonet for this thing. But an example of the various rifles used, in this case by the glorious cause, as it were, the Southern war against Northern aggression. And I just find it an interesting thing to collect guns of that period. I don't have any pistols of that period that are, well, actually I have one pistol. I have a Star that's an 1863. But I don't have any originals of all the Confederate revolvers. But I do have Italian replicas of them. And I may do some more videos about that if you're interested. But this is what I got, and I just thought I'd show them off as one little group. And tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do like the video, and if you like, subscribe to it. But let me get over here. Oh, there. Just things I'm into. Old guns. World War II, Civil War. I just collect guns. I love the history of them, where they came from, and why does this one have this wooden grip on it? Well, that's because they were saving on material. Why does this one not have a sight on the back? Well, that's because the Yankees used them and the South didn't. All kinds of the little twists and turns of history. I just find it interesting. If you find it interesting, well, let me know. Tell me about it. Happy trails.